It's a time for reflection, for sorting, for managing, and also notice just in the collective what kind of ideas are popping up.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you might feel a little more inspired during these times. You might have a little energy of like, ooh, I think I finally know, I want to work on this project or that project. Write them down. Don't start acting on them. Human design reveals who you are energetically and who you came here to be. I'm Dana, human design specialist.
And I'm Haley, the human design newbie. Listen in as we explore how leaning into your authentic self is your ultimate path to success. Welcome to the Human Design Hive podcast. Let's get into it.
Well, hello there, Haley. How are you?
Hello, I'm good.
Good. Good to see you. It is, it takes a while to getting used to this time change. I know we've had some time now. I forgot I'm on video. I know we've had some time now to get used to it. But, we're on a schedule now that we record late afternoon, usually, right?
Yeah.
Usually it's 5 o'clock for me, 3 o'clock for you. So it's late afternoon for me. Everything exists in the Eastern time zone.
Pretty much.
I know I'm talking to people from different time zones all the time and scheduling things. And I'm just like, oh my God, I feel like such a privileged individual because I'm always expecting everybody to be on my time zone. Like when I say, hey, you want to meet at 5 o'clock? And then I've gotten in the habit now of putting EST after it. So everybody
Except
knows.
for today.
Well, you don't count anymore. You know. We've done this enough times. You know. Good day. So anyways, time zone. So daylight. Not happening right now. So I mean it's it's 5:24 where I am. It's so dark. But like I said, we love this time of year, but it is dark. Except for my big tree I have out in the front yard. The tree you love.
Love that tree.
It's all golden right now.
Ooh.
It is golden leaves. Leaves are still falling. Yes, we're recording this a couple weeks before it will air because we're trying to be on top of things.
Yes. Your tree still has leaves, and we got snow yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Yes, we did.
Wow. Yeah, I have this big, huge, beautiful maple tree out in the front yard, and it just all of a sudden, decided it's dropping off. But it's so pretty. It's the gold. Of course, you guys, you've got such beautiful things out there all the time. Did you guys have fall?
Yeah, it's just already happened.
Did you get to see the aspens quaking?
We did a little bit on the early October camping trip we did. There was a couple aspens around our campsite, and I took a video of one quaking.
We had a little snafu there. Stopped recording for a second, so lost track of where we are. Okay, so quaking aspens, fall. We are recording this a couple weeks early. Oh, I know. Oops, wait. I almost had it. Now it's gone again. Oh, yes. Why we record early. We're trying to stay on top of things, especially, going for my segue here, especially as we're moving into the holiday season. And because it gets busy and then things happen. And maybe if I'm on top of things this year, I'll keep having episodes all the way through Christmas. I think I took a little break last year, like 2 weeks. And I may again this year. Who knows? Because I'm sure a lot of people aren't necessarily listening during the holidays. I know they're not. Or I know you won't be. You'll be watching Christmas movies and
Yes.
listening to Christmas carols and baking for somebody. I don't know who. Although the last time you baked and sent us stuff didn't last very well. So you don't have to bake and send us anything.
It wasn't good.
Well, by the time I got here, the cookies are, like almost a week old. So, no,
I know.
They weren't good. You know how I am. I love really fresh cookies. But, yeah, it's too much to think about right now. Christmas. It's going to make me sad. So anyways, because like I was just saying with holidays, people getting busy, segue into what our topic is today, which is the gates of December and where the sun is going to be transiting through what gates as we move through in December, which we did for November as a way to, one, help us get kind of acclimated with the energies that are upcoming for December, because the sun transits through each human design gate throughout the year, goes through all 64 gates, and it spends roughly 6 days in each gate. So as we move through the next year, we're going to do this once a month, where we're going to go through the gates for the month as a way to really see how it kind of fits together throughout the whole human design year and the quarters, but also to help us get another understanding of what these gates and themes are all about. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. At the end of November, we are moving out of gate 9, which was that gate of focus. And as we move in, so that's coming. So the first part of December, so basically when this airs, we're still going to be feeling the effects of gate 9.
Okay.
And which is that, like I said, it's that gate of focus of being able to know when to like hone in to the details and what to work on or what to focus on, that kind of thing. And as we move into December, on December 4th, the sun is going to move into gate 5. Gate 5 is called waiting. It's also in traditional human design referred to as the gate of patterns. So, and then in quantum human design, it's consistency.
Okay.
So gate 5, I have defined. I do not believe you have defined. But I feel this gate in my energy quite often.
Okay.
Just about every morning I wake up and have coffee. I'm like, there's my gate 5.
Because your patterns, your routine.
As the name suggests, consistency. Yes.
Consistency.
So gate 5 is all about, well, first of all, it's like an active state of waiting. It is honoring really your own rhythm and the things that you need to help you feel consistent, help you feel grounded, help you feel, it makes me feel right in the world when I know everything is, I have a certain pattern. And so it's kind of like an active state of waiting in its purest form, the energy of this gate.
Okay.
And but what it represents really is that individual, like I said, your own individual rhythm, regardless of whatever's going on around you, which the other end of that gate 15, is more of that chaotic, more erratic, I should say, way of doing things. It's more, there's like a tension in this channel between these two, between like having your own like steady rhythm, and a lot of time the rhythm that is in this gate 5 is closely aligned with the natural rhythms, like rhythms of the natural world and animals, nature, that kind of thing, because it's like that knowing that there is like this patterned rhythm to life kind of thing. There's always going to be sunrise, there's going to be sunset, why we still have daylight savings time. That may change what time that actually happens, but there is this natural, we have the circadian rhythms of our bodies where we are very tied to that natural rhythm of things, and that's this energy in gate 5. People with this gate, as I just kind of mentioned, like to have their mundane everyday rituals, routines, and it helps you just feel kind of connected to life, to the natural world. And can tell you, deviating from those, your own rhythms, can be quite unsettling to someone with this gate. I'll tell you about that in a minute. And so these are people that love routines. They just like routines. Now, it's funny because when I first hear something like that, like it makes you sound really boring.
I am very surprised that I wouldn't have this gait.
I know, right?
Because I very much love my routines. And maybe I've just been conditioned by your
maybe.
routines.
Yeah, maybe you were just always feeling that from me. Could be.
Yeah.
Because, I do have that. Well, like I said, it sounds boring because I've always liked to, like, see myself as someone who was, it's funny, I like to see myself some way. What I thought was spontaneous, I don't think is spontaneity. I don't really like. I'm adaptable and I'm flexible, but I can do it a little bit. But I realized over time that, I do like consistency in certain things. It does make me feel like stable and grounded. Like, case in point, like I said, every morning I wake up. And what's funny is I have my own rhythm, but it can vary, like over time. Like I'll get stuck. I don't really think it's stuck. I'll get comfortable in one certain routine for a while. Like it used to be when I eat breakfast. I don't really eat breakfast anymore, but when I would go through phases where it would be like the same thing every day for like a while, like an English muffin with peanut butter and honey. And I would just do the same thing every day. And then I'll just get tired of that. And then I'll move on to maybe something else. Ooh, I'm going to make eggs every day. It was just like the same. But for now, it's the same. The routine is, wake up, do some stretching, some breathing, entertain the cat when she comes in because she apparently has this gait as well. Like,
well, she's
Lily.
a reflector. Most animals are reflectors.
Yeah. Lily, the cat, has
She's
the
so
most consistent rhythm. I mean, it doesn't matter what happens. I know all I have to do is open my bedroom door barely, and she
runs
pushes her head right through, and she's like, jumps up on my bed. We have a long conversation. We talk while I'm doing some leg stretching and everything. And oh my God, she's hilarious. But so it's do that. If you guys are really getting to know me here. We get the shower, we go make the coffee, come back, get ready for the day, do some meditating, drink the coffee. Oh my God, have that first cup of coffee in the day is like, that is my center point. Like that is my grounding point for a day is that first cup of coffee. Oh, so delicious. Second cup, never as good. First cup, beautiful. And then, and from there, if I can get those things done, that sets my day. Like, I feel like I've had control of my day. And then, depending on what day it is, yes, there's certain, and then it, it's more variable throughout the day. And then it gets to the end of the day. And it's usually like, okay, if I don't have dinner started by 7, I get really antsy. I get really annoyed. And so that's me. Thank you, everybody. That's all about me. But really, this energy, if we think about it in this context of why it's this time of year. Okay, so let's just think about this for a minute because we're in the quarter of mutation. It's the beginning of December. It is a collective energy. It's not a individual circuitry.
Oh.
And I'm not quizzing you. I'm just saying, like, let's talk about it.
Yeah, no, I know. I know. But I can see it because the quarter of mutation, that's the word. It is about the cycle of life, the birth and the death and the rebirth and that. And it makes sense that this gate would be in there with its own natural cycle of things.
True. Yeah. With that, like you said, with that tying to the natural world and the natural rhythms, that there is always going to be this period of reflection, like you said. And then also we said the themes of mutation is like a life well lived is, there's transformation. And I guess for that, to occur, there has to be like some sort of foundation, what your own natural rhythm is, I guess. So yeah, that's a good point of why that's there. So another thing to consider then, gate 5 then, with it being in the sacral center, we know that this is energy in response that's used a lot of times. So it's like there's that natural rhythm of things, that pulse of life that's going there, or the generated life force, but it has to respond to something. And so, even though it's in that collective circuitry, there is still this element of, I think, individual power, because it's like your sacral center, if you have it defined, because you could not have it defined and still have this gate. But if you do have it defined, it's like knowing what your energy is available for, really knowing, because like I said, if I get derailed, and my natural patterns consistency gets interrupted, I can take a hit. I think it does, like, kind of shut down that sacral energy, because I get so focused on the lack of consistency that I get like really annoyed by it. Because it's not my favorite story, but an example is being also when you can't have your own rhythm, was going to southern Utah, and being in a bed and breakfast and not understanding why there was no apparatus to make coffee. Like, what was that all about? It was like day 3 before I realized. I may have even left, I don't know, but I was like, oh, Mormons, they don't drink coffee.
Yeah, no, we were talking about it, and I was the one that, I thought I was the one that told you about it. Because it's like the only caffeine they can drink is Diet Coke, because their founder...
They drink Pepsi.
Well, the only reason they're allowed to drink that one is because their founder was addicted to it. And he said, no caffeine except for this one, because I like it.
Because it's got cocaine.
Anyways.
So...
But I can see, with it being in the sacral center, since it is such a responding energy in the sacral, that it can be frustrating when you don't have that little bit of control on your own routine. That little bit of control.
Yeah. And also, it's the ability to maintain your own, like you said, your own rhythm, so that you can stay consistent with certain habits and choices that helps you live more in alignment with what's right for you. Right. So, okay. So that's going to be going on at the beginning of December. Paying attention to the world around you, paying attention maybe to your own rhythms. Do you live with your own kind of rhythm? Did you feel like in these couple days what your own natural way of doing things, just kind of paying attention to that and finding that connection there.
Do you know roughly what day that is through of December?
To the 12th. To the 9th. 12/9. Okay. Yes. Then it rolls over into gate 26, which you do have.
Oh.
I believe this is your unconscious sun.
Oh.
Right?
Sounds like that's one that I hear a lot.
I'll look it up, but we're using Squadcast, and I'm afraid to open any other windows on my computer while we are
You've sent me
recording.
Hold on. I'll see if I can find it really quickly. You've sent it to me in text one time.
Everybody, please take note of the water bottle I am using. No open flame and no open containers near the computer.
No open flames. Sorry.
I might set it on fire or something. If you recall, I dumped water all over my computer a couple weeks ago. I'm happy to report the computer is fine.
Who fixed it?
My genius son took the whole thing apart immediately while Haley and I were still recording on your dad's computer. And he dried it out. And then for one evening, we thought it was totally fucked. But the next day, she started right up, and she's been good ever since. And that's also why the microphone didn't work. So all that mess we had with Squadcast and all the issues we had last time, water. So anyways, you have gate 26.
I found it. It is my unconscious sun. Is that what you said?
Sun, that's what I said.
Yes.
That is what I said. So gate 26 then is in the will center, reaching over towards the splenic center, connecting with gate 44. and that is the channel of surrender. And gate 26 is called the taming power of the great.
That's a name.
And in quantum human design, it's called the trickster. I've also seen it as the egoist.
Oh, okay.
And in quantum human design, integrity, which sounds so much better than everything else.
Wait, but you also said quantum was called trickster.
No, traditional human design is trickster. Quantum
You said
human
quantum.
design, roll the tape.
Roll it back.
We'll find out on the
So
replay.
then which one is the taming power of the great?
That's 26. That's the I Ching.
Okay. So that's the I Ching
name of the hexagram. Mm-hmm.
And then the traditional
trickster.
is the trickster, and quantum
also referred to as the egoist, trickster.
Oh, okay. And then quantum is
integrity.
Yes.
And so this one is like, I could see the integrity pieces of it that she talks about in the traditional language. When I say she, I'm talking about Karen Curry Parker, who developed the quantum human design and the new language, the more, empowering language based on these concepts. But this one is, for me, I think the most deviation from the traditional teaching. So I'll cover both because, this gate 26 in traditional talks a lot about the energy of sales and marketing. Okay. And it is part of that business circuitry. Like that whole channel of 4426 is very much this sales energy, because last month, November, we started the month in gate 44, if you remember.
Okay.
Right. That was gate 44 was the last gate in the quarter of duality. And so here in gate 26, I just, every now and then, the more I think about this stuff, I have these little revelations that, whether or not it's been pointed out to me 100 times or not, and it just finally fit. But I was just thinking about, why is this gate here, in this quarter, and what does it represent? And this talk about sales. And so if you think about what we talked about in gate 44, was the person who's like also in sales that helps set the scene. It's, it helps use manipulation.
They make them comfortable
but there's some patterns of the past in there, remember? And it was about knowing what the tribe needs. Yeah, it was like setting the scene, making people feel safe. It's in the spleen, so it's going to have that security energy to it. There's fear also, but it's like knowing what the tribe needs, right, in order to make the sale, basically. Like this is what we need in order to have our, needs met or whatever, and we're going to have to do that. So the other end of the gate here, the other end of that channel here, if you think about, okay, it's coming off the will center, and it is, what does the tribe need? So it's meeting the actual needs, the resources of the tribe, making sure that the tribe, because the will center is very much, it is the material world, right? So it's this gate is in tribal energy, and it's also the material world. So it's like, what do we need to be safe, to be secure, to be well taken care of, to be making sure that our well-being is protected, because that's in the spleen as well. And so I think that's where Karen Curry Parker is talking about the integrity piece, because she's talking about the energy of this gate is making sure that you have resource integrity, that you have the material resource integrity, physical integrity, emotional integrity, like all these things is basically, are you taking care of, your own needs? Are you honoring your well-being? And where's my and to that? And making sure that you have what you need so that you can then contribute to what the tribe needs. And so on the individual level, it is this integrity of making sure that you have all the support and the things that you need in order to be to be tending to your own personal well-being so you have more to give. And so, but in traditional human design, it's more just kind of based on that material world of work and money, really. It talks about work and money a lot. Of people, gate 26, excelling in sales. And, maybe having I know everybody always says that when you say, it's like, nobody was like, really? Here's something that would apply to you. That's something I read, because it's about recognition and promise keeping are crucial for your happiness and productivity. I would say that applies to you, because recognition, well, hello.
Hi.
But there is going to be very much a cooperative energy to this gate because of where it's located and what it does. But so, like I was saying, with the will center, it only has 4 gates. And it's connected to 4 different centers through those gates.
Oh, yeah.
And it is concerned with the material world and resources. And it is the gate, like it says, the egoist. I mean, this gate's the egoist, but that center is also dealing with the ego self, because it is like the heart center split into the G center and the will center. And so the ego center is that part of you, that's the ego. It's the will center. It's your own personal place. And so here it's connecting, like I said, to the spleen, your well-being. It connects to the G center. It's like your direction. It connects to the throat. It's the communication. And it connects to the solar plexus. It is the emotion. Like, this is the representation of how the individual expresses those things in the tribe, in the collective, right? Is making sure that their emotional needs, their physical needs are taken care of, their actual, material needs. And so that plays an important part here. Were you looking at something, or were you looking at
I have
your chart?
Yes.
Yeah. So again, if we think about this quarter and the themes that it represents, do you feel like you had an understanding of this gate before I go on, or not really?
Well, I was confused when you're talking about the integrity on Karen Curry Parker's description. Because I wasn't quite seeing the integrity come through on that.
Right, because it always talks about sales and marketing, and we don't associate sales and marketing with integrity, do we?
No, not really.
But good salespeople know that, or integrous salespeople know that they are basically making someone comfortable to purchase something that they know they need. If it is integrous sales is a service, they call it, right? Where you are actually providing a service, filling the need of someone, right? But how do they know they need it? How do they know they need it?
I don't know.
How do they know it's going to be good for them? It takes somebody like this to come along and be like, this is why you need it. This is why you need it. It's good for you. It's going to help you. But in traditional human design, it says that it's where memory is manipulated. Because when you're talking about the 44, the memory that's there, where the past is selectively remembered in order to persuade or distract us from our fears. So it's like making the comfortable sale. I mean, it is. It's like putting you at ease. Let's reframe it here. So, what?
I was just going to say, I'm trying to think about it and think about why it would be in this quarter of mutation.
Mutation, yeah. Well, if it helps, this is kind of like in the Rave I Ching. It's in the human design, there's always like a 1 sentence kind of synopsis thing from the book. And it says the maximization of the power of memory applied to the nurturing of continuity. So you think about it in that context.
I can see with that, because the mutation leads into what's the first quarter?
Initiation. Quarter of initiation.
Yeah, that one. But we talked about how that is about taking things and like basically putting forth to the next quarter to like bring it back into. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in my head. I can't get it though.
I understand. That's how I live my life. I get it. No, I understand, because it's like, this is the energy of like, okay, if it's in mutation and we go with these themes, it's, it wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
There was some good. We did this and we can do better. You know what we need? We need to do this next time. You know what you need? You need this. It's like,
yeah.
Hey,
It wasn't so scary.
We can do something better. Yeah, that happened. But was it really that bad?
Yeah. Yes.
And that's kind of, as you're doing this end of the year, contemplating and thinking about what it is you really want. That's the persuasive energy there. So that's gate 26. We're just gonna leave that there. We might have to come back to it many, many times, but that's where we're at today.
Yes.
And let that just, kind of rattle around in your heads and think about it. Because I know that, I'm on here like, oh, human design specialist, but I am still learning just like everybody else. There's a lot to learn, and there's a lot to, especially when you're not as familiar with these gates. But Haley, you should be the expert in this one because you have this gate. But I understand it's your unconscious son. So if I were to think about you in that gate,
yes, please.
Definitely integrity. I mean, you have been on the sales end quite a few times, not necessarily with like dollars sales, but selling an idea 100%.
Like what?
Well, just like convincing us like what we need to do or how we need to do it. Like a plan for the week or for the day, or we're going to do this and then we're going to do that and, and then you just like lay it out of why it needs to be done in that way. And we're all like, okay. Haley knows. She usually knows. And we trust you that you're doing it for our own well-being and that you mean well. You're not trying to lead us down a harsh path. But I think you're pretty good at like persuading people to see your point of view in that way. You think?
Yeah, I guess.
But you're not aware of it because it's on your unconscious design. So it's not going to be that in touch with you, right?
I do often, if I am laying out how something should be, I am providing my reasoning for it, and it does make sense, I guess.
You're making the case. Doesn't mean you're selling cars.
That's true.
You just be selling ideas and concepts. Okay. So moving on. December 12th. I mean, God, I keep getting stuck with 12 because it's the month of 12. December 15th, because I'm looking at numerical dates, 12/15. December 15th, we move into the gate 11, which I Ching, gate of peace, traditional human design, gate of ideas. It's an easy one to remember. And quantum human design, the conceptualist. And I say it's easy to remember because of that ideas. It's pretty straightforward in that respect. It's in the ajna. It connects to gate 56. And I forgot to write down what the channels were, if you're interested.
Like you're not going to talk about it.
What's that?
I said you not write it down like you're not going to talk about it.
Look, there's a lot going on in this head at all times. If I could get all of it out of my head, y'all would be very tired. Just kidding. The channel of curiosity. Okay, so this is an ajna gate, so you know it's going to be concerned with the mind, right?
Yes.
And it is abstract circuitry, collective circuitry, which is understanding. And so we know that this gate is going to be about finding meaning through some sort of experience, making sense of the past, that kind of thing, because that's just the theme in that circuitry. And abstract circuitry is, what does it mean? But this gate in particular is where the possibilities come through from the inspiration in the head, goes through the ajna, and comes out as possibilities become ideas. So it's like, oh, this would be a good idea. Oh, that's an idea, right? And so usually people with this gate are full of ideas, especially if they have a defined ajna. There's a lot of ideas there. And usually where people with this gate get into difficulty with this is because they think all the ideas are theirs, but it's not necessarily every idea is for you. They'll just have lots of ideas. But if you always thought like, just because you have ideas that you are meant to act on them, no, does not mean that. These are just possibilities and ideas. And especially if you have this gate defined, that means that these are things that you are broadcasting out to the world, right? Because it's defined in you. So that means maybe not all those ideas are for you. Maybe those ideas are for others to pick up on or for you to actually transmit to them, right?
Right.
And so these aren't action plans, like I said. They're just possibilities, and they can change. And so they also say in this, so one point about that, I should say real quick before I move on, because I always say this, is if you do have this gate defined and you find yourself with lots of ideas and you've struggled with maybe completing anything or getting started anything because new ideas come up all the time, it's just get in the habit of writing down the ideas that you have so they have a safe place to live. You can make your own little idea journal and put it somewhere safe so it feels safe and protected and you feel good that it's a protected idea that doesn't necessarily need to be acted on. And then revisit them time to time. Maybe it is a good idea for you. Maybe the time is right now. Or maybe it's a good idea for someone else and you can pass that on.
Or it's still not the time.
Or it's still not the time. Maybe it's just ideas.
Yeah.
So they also say that in this gate, like I said, it is part of that abstract circuitry. So it is about finding meaning through the experience. They say people with this gate also tend to really, as they look back in memory, there's a tendency to just hold on to the things that you liked about the experience that you want to remember and tend to actually discard the rest. Because, if you think about where it goes down into the throat, connecting to the G center through that channel there, which is all about narrative. So it is about creating the story, the storyteller energy there of again, just remembering. I think it makes sense when you hear this in this mutation, this
life well lived.
Why it's in this quarter, right? Because it's what are we taking from this? Again, what was the experience? Maybe only remembering the good parts. All the ideas for what you could be doing next year, of what you want to bring forth. Yeah. So this is also where thought systems, beliefs can tend to formulate is in this channel or in this gate as well.
Okay.
And so optimally, you're just here if you have this gate to remember that it's a vessel for ideas and again, to hold on to them maybe for yourself or some other, not trying to force them all. And so during this time of December 15th, it's a great time for reflection, maybe looking back on your year and, thinking about maybe what has happened, what did you like, what did you not like, maybe get really honest, and see if you're, especially if you have this gate, but are you only remembering the good, especially if maybe you've kind of glazed over something that maybe needs to be looked at again and say, well, is that true? Is that really, say you're continuing certain behaviors or relationships or jobs or anything like that. Are you only looking at the good side? Maybe look at it from all angles there. And, it's a time for reflection, for sorting, for managing, and also notice just in the collective, what kind of ideas are popping up.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you might feel a little more inspired during these times. You might have a little energy of like, ooh, I think I finally know, I want to work on this project or that project. Write them down. Don't start acting on them. This is not the quarter of initiation. This is quarter of mutation. So just something to consider. Anything else you want to add to that?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. So moving on the 20th of December, we move into gate 10. So, yes, I kind of touched on these last year. I don't know what I said. I don't even want to go back and listen to it because it may be totally different than what I say this year. Like I said, everything, we all change, we evolve, we learn more. Let's see. So gate 10 is called treading. It's in the G center. And it's in traditional human design. It's called, I've seen it two ways. Behavior of the self is one way, or love of self. And then in quantum human design, she calls it self-love. And it is one of the gates of the vessel of love, the incarnation cross, the vessel of love.
Oh.
And it's a complex gate because it actually connects to 3 other gates. This one gate connects to 3 others, which is also part of the integration network. And so it's really associated, like I said, with self-love. And it is what it says. It's the behavior of the self. It's what you love about yourself, and knowing what is right for you, let's say. Because, the G Center is all about direction. It's about love. And this is the love of self. Again, I said it. So... So it says it influences different potential behaviors or roles, which are guided by like gate 57. So gate 57 is like
in the
knowing. Oh, yes. Yes. So you're right. You should say that. It is connected to the spleen there. So what would that tell you, since it is about the love of the self and it's connected to the spleen? What would you say might be a theme there? Just spitballing ideas. There's
like the survival of self, more on that kind of thing.
Your own. Well, and also, yes, you're right. It's wellness, instinct, survival. Gate 57's intuition. It's gate of intuition.
Okay.
So it's about knowing in the moment. Because that channel... 57-2 is called Perfected Form. That's the channel it's called.
Oh, okay.
And it really is about this intuitive awareness of what, in loving and appreciating yourself, and what's going to help support that. So since it is connected to the spleen there, it's going to be like moment to moment, what's right for me. If I'm honoring myself and what I want, and where I'm going, this is what's guiding. Then it also, and then it also connects to the 3410 in the sacral center.
I have that gate.
34. Yeah, you have gate 34.
I have it twice.
Yeah. Where? What's it? What planet? I assume it's
Pluto.
an outer planet. Pluto.
They're both obviously Pluto.
Yeah. So gate 34 is gate of power, personal power that's just for yourself. So if you think of that connection 34 to 10, that is a powerful connection. It is the having the energy, the responding to what is correct for you. So so that's the channel there of exploration, and that's says this is the design of following one's own conviction. So it's having the power to do, the energy to do what is right for you, what feels correct for you, responding to life. And then it also connects to gate 20 in the throat. And that is the love of the self, the presence in the now. That's the manifesting, or that's, the throat is about manifesting and communication. So if you have that channel with that connection to the throat, you could be someone who is very vulnerable when they speak, because
They're
literally
speaking
the
from the
voice
self.
literally coming straight from who they are. They
Yeah.
can feel very sensitive. So gate 10 overall empowers individuals to live authentically. And if you have this gate defined in your chart, that's a huge part of your path and your purpose, is to honor that, because that in turn helps empower others and inspire others to live fully as themselves as well, and to love themselves for it, not just live as yourself, but be like, I love me.
Yeah. I think we need a little bit more of that in the world.
Yeah, it's about self-acceptance. Yeah, and because I mean, it's the whole thing, why we do this podcast is to help people understand that relationship with self and loving yourself as you were designed, because you were made perfectly how you were. The template that you stepped into the moment you were born here, that was meant just for you and for no one else. And it has a beautiful purpose.
It has a reason.
It has a reason. Right. And it is really your source of your own creative power as well, because you understand that no matter what you do, if you understand this energy, this love for yourself, it's like, I mean, that no one can take that away from you. It's like, if you stand solidly in that, they may try, but if you can really connect to that energy, is there. And remember, even if you don't have it defined, I don't have this gate defined. You don't, I don't believe, right?
No.
But we can learn from it. And as we transit through these 6 days, there is going to be that energy on the planet of loving the self. And I love also, go ahead.
I was going to say, when it does transit, I'll have those two center, I'll have my sacral defined and then the G center defined.
Yeah. And even though like Christmas is a on a calendar, the way it's set up, the way we've all experienced it as, the birth of Jesus, and that, it's not actually true.
No, apparently he's actually born in the spring.
Right. It's not actually true, but the themes, the energies are present. And, I don't know how they developed the Gregorian calendar, why it's, in December. I think it's probably pretty mundane reason for why they did it in December. Because, the church made it up. So.
Oh no, there was a pagan holiday.
Oh, that's why, because they want to take
pagan
over.
Holiday.
Yeah, the eradicating pagan holidays.
Yay,
Christianity. No offense.
Just not our leaning.
Just talking about the imperialism of the Catholic Church. That's all. Nothing else. No, because there's so much of this. If you think this is when this always happens around this time of year, right? Is these that week right before Christmas into Christmas, because it moves out of this gate on the 26th. And there is, like, I feel there's 2 ends of the spectrum there this time of year. It's like there is this love is in the air kind of feeling, and there's also a lot of sadness, I think, this time of year, when people are feeling rather unloved, insecure, not, or allowing how other people, or how they think other people see them or treat them, be the source of their own self-love. And, this gate is there to help you get in touch with the fact that you have to love yourself, no matter if everybody else in the world doesn't. You have the capacity and the ability and the actual, birthright to love yourself, because it is present in each and every one of us. And I think, there's important reason for that to be this time of year, and especially in this mutative quarter, it makes sense, right? To know what is, for you, kind of thing. Anything else?
No.
No,
it's good. It's gonna make me cry thinking about it, because it is such a nice time.
It is. It is, but it's also a very sad time for a lot of people. And so maybe if you are feeling that energy, just remember, just take care of yourself, man. Be your own best friend. Be your own best friend. Okay, so on the 26th, the day after the Christian holiday of Christmas, that makes me sound like I'm spiritual, not religious, which I recently saw a political poll, and they were polling people about the upcoming presidential election and, you know, if they identified as Christian or not. And it's crazy how it's really slipping in this country. Not crazy, totally understandable because of the evangelical side of things, but larger and larger percentages of not just Americans, but people are identifying with the spiritual, not religious. And so I think, you know, to each his own. That's great. Just, you know, feeling connected to something helps. And a lot of people don't feel connected to an organized religion, myself included, anymore.
Because
but
my experience, they're not the nicest.
Yeah, sometimes. But also staying open, that sometimes you will find, you know, different, you know, like I said, churches or, you know, communities that might, you know, be that way, that are more open. But anyways, I don't know what we're not going to talk about that. All right. So
what are we moving to next?
26. We move last gate here in December. This is going to be through actual last day of December, the 31st.
Last day of the year.
Gate 58, which I like gate 58. You have it. Yes, you have it.
I have the whole channel.
You have the channel. It defines that channel. One of two channels you have. Like, do I have it? You have two channels, right? Yes. So gate 58 is the Joyous. It's also called, that's the I Ching, it's called the Gate of Vitality. Traditional. And yeah. And I believe it's called Vitality in Quantum Human Design too. I say I believe because I didn't write it down here. But like I said, I don't want to open up any other windows. But it is. Like it connects, it's in the root center. It connects to the gate 18 in the spleen. You said your one
spleen. Yes. This, the channel of judgment?
It is.
Okay.
Yes. So this is a powerful energy that allows you to detect. So it's another thing about patterns, but it's being able to detect weaknesses, unhealthiness, things that need to be corrected in yourself, others, society. However, it's very important to note that if you do have this gate defined, this channel defined in particular, to not be using that energy towards yourself, that correcting, perfecting energy. But yeah, so it is the energy of, well, it's called the Joyous because in the root center, it's going to be a pulsing energy, right? It's that adrenalized pulse on or off. Don't know when it's going to hit. Right. And when we talked about those gates in the root center, how to prepare, like you don't know when the energy is going to be there, but to be prepared for that when the energy comes through, you can get into the right movement. And so if you look at where this gate is, it's in the root center, connects the spleen, and then goes through, the circuitry goes through the spleen to the 48 to the 16 up to the throat. And so this circuitry here, these channels are all about that correcting, that perfecting. It's what do you want to create? This is the gate, or this energy is about creating mastery, becoming the virtuoso. It is about what is it that you want to work on to improve. And so for yourself personally, it would be like, what brings you joy? What is it that brings you so much joy that you want to really work at it, make it something even better, even more beautiful, work, harder at, that kind of thing. Maybe not harder, but that was a word that just popped in. And
devote more time to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of refinement. There's testing. There's, because it is collective circuitry it is in the logic circuit, or the logic circuitry of testing, refining, like I said, over and over again to get better and better and better at it. And so really the energy here is, in that joyous energy, is to learn to embrace joy as a force of creative power without guilt or denial, to just do it for the love of doing it, right? It brings you joy. On the opposite end of it then would be like denying yourself the joy, right? To avoid maybe refining a talent or a skill, of just kind of shutting all that down, not pursuing what you love, maybe out of obligation or expectation from people around you, right? Or to just, be so shut down you don't even believe in joy, which is really sad. But again, if you look at the time of year when this is, this energy is in the air from Christmas to New Year's. That's basically where it's at. And I know I talked about that last year. It's like, this is that celebratory energy of everybody does tap into that at some point, hopefully. At least we're trying to. The celebration, the joy.
And it's like also kind of like pulls into like New Year's resolutions and like, what do you want to work on? What do you want to refine? Like that kind of energy too.
Yeah. What do you want to improve and correct? What are you willing to work at, to change? But also not the time of year to be doing those things. This is a good time to review what does bring you joy, what makes you happy, what is something that you are willing to commit to make better, whether it's your relationships or your own personal relationship with yourself or your job, or maybe you want to learn to play piano because you love music and you always wanted to, and so just paying attention during those days of what brings you joy, and just reflecting on that. And this would be a good time to do that. There's not enough joy in the world. And
I love joy.
We do kind of deny ourselves joy. It's one of those things, especially, I always say, especially in America, but this is where I live. It's where I was raised. And let's not forget the American culture, not the country. I know there were indigenous people here before us who were very wise not in their own way. They're very wise, very tapped into these natural rhythms, and I believe they celebrated joy and celebrated things. But the people that came here and colonized this country were not focused on joy. I'm sorry. The Puritans, the
they were the opposite of joy. They hated joy.
That's why they had to leave England. It's like,
even England is like, you're too sad. Get out of here.
You guys are a real drag. You want to do that shit, you go somewhere else. We've got a great place for you. Oh, the poor indigenous people. But if you think about it, we until we explore where these ideas and these beliefs in our societies and our cultures come from, we just think it's the norm to value above anything else hard work, sacrifice, right? It's like the two main tenets, like, and your reward is in the next life, not the next life, in heaven. Your reward is after you die. Like, how fucked up is that?
That's really shitty. Who wants to live like that?
No wonder they're trying to control what everybody else is doing. Everybody else is having a good time.
They're like, damn it, I'm not having fun. You're not having fun.
That's right.
Grumpy.
But it's so true. It's like we come from people who, that was not a value of your own personal love of self or finding joy or, honoring what's right for you. Like, none of that. This is the age we're moving into.
Far from it.
Yeah, far from it. And this is also the the cycle, the paradigm shift that's coming, the new age that's coming, is we're on the very, very end of it, of this, in human design terms, the cross of planning, the incarnation cross of planning, moving into the incarnation cross of sleeping phoenix, which is about that death and rebirth, right? So we're moving into an era, the age of Aquarius, which is all about, the individual in the collective, but just honoring each and every one of us and what we have to contribute. And so it's no wonder we're seeing such a pushback from what is the old way of doing things, the thing that is dying. It's in its death grip. It's in the throes of its last gasping breath of trying to control
It just
people.
needs to let go.
Yeah. Systems, the patriarchy, all of it's been exposed, and something new and better will rise from the ashes. And I'm here for it.
Because we freaking need it.
That's right. So as we round out this year, be contemplating on those ideas of what is right for you, what ideas are coming through, what inspiration's coming through, does it enforce your own sense of self-love? Is it something that enhances your well-being? Is it something that you're gonna bring forward with joy into the next year? So that rounds out the year.
Yeah.
There we go. And if that rounds out the episode, you know what that means?
Incarnation cross of the week.
Why do we need a jingle? What could be better than watching you do that?
I know. That's why I'm here.
Alrighty. So we're gonna change our focus here, and we're just gonna go with this week's incarnation cross of the week that was selected at random. It is the right angle cross of laws.
Right angle cross of laws. I'm getting it. So it's a right angle cross. So it's a 1, 2, 3, or 4, 6. And it was it's in the first quarter of initiation.
Right. Got it. You are correct. It is in the quarter of initiation. Initiation. That is a very hard word to say.
Initiation.
Go ahead, say it.
Initiation.
Oh, now you're just showing off. So, right angle cross of laws, on the personality side of the chart, which is the conscious side of the chart, black numbers on the right. The sun is in gate 3, which is ordering. Earth is in gate 50, which is values.
Ordering, values, okay.
And then on the unconscious side, on the left side of the chart, the design side, numbers in red, the sun is in gate 60, acceptance. And then Earth, gate 56, known as stimulation. These are keywords here. Okay.
So we have ordering, values,
acceptance and
stimulation. Okay, let's see where we go.
Okay, so here we go. Right angle cross of laws. You were born under this cross. As a creator of structure and a catalyst for innovation, you are here to establish laws, norms, rules, and principles. Your role is to maintain order when new situations arise, thereby igniting significant changes, especially in our societal interactions. Simultaneously, you bring innovation and fresh prospects to the world by amplifying existing successes through gratitude. You have mastered the art of narrative, metaphor, and storytelling, using these tools to reshape the narrative of possibilities and redefine our collective notion of value. Your purpose also includes introducing groundbreaking ideas that enhance our capacity to support, nurture, feed, and care for one another. By leveraging your expertise, you drive positive transformation and pave the way for a brighter future for all.
Oh, that's so nice.
Laws.
I am very appreciative of order and rules.
Well, what's
I like
interesting
that.
about this cross in particular, 2 of those gates, 3 and the 60, actually form that channel mutation.
Oh,
Channel of mutation.
oh yeah.
Which, is about, knowing what to keep to create something new. So I guess we can see that in laws.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's it for today, man. We reached the end of yet another episode. Yay.
We did it.
We did it. So once again, appreciate everybody out there listening, and also your patience as I get things loaded into YouTube. That would be like somebody's full-time job is just uploading videos to YouTube. It takes forever. But I'm working on it. I've heard you say you want more videos on there of the episodes. I'm doing my best to do that. Stay with me. This one will be video, so don't worry. All the new ones are all video. I'm trying to go backlog and add videos to them. But there it is.
There it is.
All right. All right. Well, you enjoy the rest of your evening. You still have maybe a half-hour daylight there. I can see in your window.
I have 9 minutes of daylight.
Oh! Make the most of it. Go look at it. Watch the sunset over the mountains. Beautiful.
I think it's already behind the mountains, honestly.
Yeah. Well, it is black outside. It is dark. It is nighttime.
Yes.
Full on. All right.
Yes.
I love you, kid.
Okay.
We'll talking to you soon. Everybody else,
Yes.
we'll catch you in the next episode. So bye for now.
Bye.
Bye. You made it all the way to the end of today's episode, so you must have liked what you heard. If you did, make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode, and perhaps leave us a good review. And if you know someone who wants to dig into all things human design with us, make sure you share the Human Design Hive podcast with them. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks for listening.